Hi there, Miss Noliana here. You can call me Chetna. This is part 1 of the 2-part lesson on tips and strategies in tackling question 1 in the MUET 2020 writing test, analysis report writing. In this video, we are going to examine a sample question, recall the 6 components of an analysis report, and look at the process of writing the title, introduction, and overview of the report. Let's start by looking at a sample question of the actual MUET test question. This question can be found in Session 2, 2018 test. Study the visuals given on the number of guests who stayed in several homestays and their guests' satisfaction ratings in 2016. Write a report using only the information provided in the 2 visuals. In your report, you are to analyze and link the information given. You should write between 150 and 200 words. It's very important to know and understand the information given in the instructions and visuals. Spend some time, maybe 5 to 7 minutes, to carefully study the instructions and visuals given. Many students make the mistake by rushing to write the report without properly understanding the question. Let us examine the visuals given in this question. There are several things you have to consider while you're doing that. Usually, 2 visuals are given. In this question, the visuals are called Figure 1 and Table 1. Look for the main visual first. Usually, it's the first visual. In this case, it's Figure 1. It has the most amount of information to be analyzed and synthesized. The second visual is the supporting visual. It has the information which can be used to form synthesis by linking it with the information in Figure 1. When you are writing the report, remember that your report has to be between 150 to 200 words. Make sure you count the number of words. It's up to the candidates how many number of paragraphs you want your report to be in. I would suggest 3 to 4 paragraphs. It will make the report look neat and clean. Let's start with the first visual, Figure 1. First, you should read and identify the keywords in the instructions and title. Next is to look for the subject reference. You will use this as the subject of your sentence when you write the analysis or synthesis. Look for keywords like number of, amount of, or size of, or etc. Next, find the main key feature. This element is to be used with the subject reference when you form an analysis or synthesis. You also have to look for the time frame. Usually, it is included in the visuals. Find out whether it is written in years, months, weeks, days, or hours. You also have to identify the data. Ask yourself, what do you see in the visuals? Is it a number of something, the size, a rating scale, a ranking scale? In addition, pay attention to the data's unit of measurement. Is it in thousand, 100,000, ringgit Malaysia, percentage, hectares? It is very important you know the type of data given, as different types of data require different types of trend words or language of comparison. In this visual, the data is in the form of a number, which means the subject reference is in the form of a countable noun, or it can be counted. The last thing you need to do is to list down possible and appropriate trend words or language of comparison you can use for the given visuals. A good strategy is to write down at least 4 to 5 trend words anywhere on the question paper before you start writing the report. You will have a clearer idea what analysis or synthesis to write. Here, in this question, the possible trend words would be the highest, the lowest, higher or lower than, increase from, to, or decrease from, to, and the same. Now, let's look at the second visual or table 1. As you can see, table 1 has less number of information in comparison to figure 1. This is due to table 1 being the supporting visual. Take similar steps as explained about figure 1 earlier on. First, read and identify keywords in the title of the visual. Next, look for the subject reference. In this visual, the subject reference will mostly be used as descriptions to be linked with analysis formed in figure 1. However, it is possible you could also write a few analyses based on table 1. You also need to look for the main key feature, time frame, and data. In this visual, there are 2 types of data. The first type is rating data, and the second one is number data. I have explained earlier on what number data is. Rating data is different. It is not something that is countable. Instead, it is a quality of a feature about the subject reference. The number you see in table 1 is a rating scale. A different number represents a different rating scale. For example, 1 refers to very poor rating scale. 2 refers to poor rating scale. 3 refers to satisfactory rating scale. However, if having 2 different data types in the same visual confuses you, then just focus on the rating data more. This is because you would have used number data a lot based in the first visual of figure 1 when you are writing your analysis. Of course, you also want to consider what trend words to use. In this table, you can see there are 2 types of data type. Therefore, ask yourself which information can be used as descriptions to form a synthesis, or if you want to analyze the information, what trend words can be used. Here are some examples. Now that we have looked at the instructions and visuals carefully, let's recall the format of the report. Your report must have a title. It will represent both figure 1 and table 1. Next is the introduction. You have to introduce figure 1 and table 1. The third component is the overview or overall trend. It is a sentence to show correlation between Figure 1 and Table 1. The fourth component is the analysis. Your analysis will consist of a key feature, data, time frame, and trend word. The fifth component is the synthesis. In a synthesis, there should be one complete analysis. Therefore, you should have key feature, data, time frame, trend word, and an appropriate linker or linking word that link an analysis either from Visual 1 or Visual 2 and a description or another analysis. The last component is the conclusion. This sentence requires you to paraphrase the overview or overall trend. Now, we are going to start writing the report. The first step is to write the report's title. Here are the steps. Step 1. Find the title for Figure 1. Step 2. Find the title for Table 1. Next, write the report's title using the title for Figure 1 and Table 1. For example, number of guests in homestays 2016 and satisfaction ratings received from the guests 2016. An important note: make sure you put the time frame if it is given in the question. Next is the report's introduction. Here are the steps. 1. Find the title for Figure 1. 2. Find the title for Table 1. 3. Write the report's introduction using the title for Figure 1 and Table 1 in one full sentence. Use simple present tense to write the introduction. For example, Figure 1 shows number of guests in homestays 2016, while Table 1 indicates satisfaction ratings received from the guests 2016. As you can see, the steps writing the title and introduction is almost similar. What differentiates between the two components is that the introduction is written in a full sentence form, whereas the title is in a title form. The third step is to write the report's overview or overall trend, or we usually call it OV. Here are the steps. 1. Find out how Figure 1 and Table 1 is generally connected. What same time frame did Figure 1 and Table 1 share? Then, find the most acceptable connection between Figure 1 and Table 1. For example, you can use this phrase, correlated with. You must also use these words in your OV. Generally, time frame that is given, correlated with. Use simple past tense to write the OV. For example, generally in 2016, number of guests in homestays correlated with satisfaction ratings received from the guests in 2016. That's the end of part 1. We will continue this lesson in part 2. See you soon. Bye.